Okay, welcome to step 4. Step 3, you outline the leaves. What we're going to do now is we're going to color the leaves in, not with just one color. There's lots of steps, but using the primary colors. So what we need to talk about first is what are the primary colors as a review. You have red, you have blue, and you have yellow. Okay, these are the only 3 colors that we're going to use to color in our leaves. Okay, so you have 2 different sections, even though you have like 100 of little sections. You have 2 sections. One is the background, the area around the leaves, and then you have the inside of the leaves. Okay, so we're going to start with one leaf, and we're going to talk about the different sections inside of that leaf because of the black lines and the different kinds of lines that we added. So we're only worried about the inside of the leaf, but what we need to do is talk about how far we can color inside of this leaf. So there's this black line right here. If I'm coloring this section, so I'm coloring inside of the leaf, and I get to that black line, I always talk about these black lines as being a wall. I've been teaching for a lot of years, and I have not had a student be able to walk through a wall yet. Okay, what you need to walk through a wall is a door. And so some lines do not have a door. This one does not have an opening. If we go up here and we look at the dotted line, we notice a space in between a line. Okay, spaces in between a line give us a door. So if I was coloring this section right here, I would have to keep coloring in between these 2 lines because I have a door. So now I would color all of this area as well, all the way up to there to here. When I got to this line, I would have to stop because there's no door. All right, so that'll make more sense as I go. So to color this leaf, I always like to know how big my space is. So I start by outlining or going along that wall or black line without going outside. You guys are in 1st grade now, so a lot of you could stay inside of the lines in kindergarten, and some of us struggled. So this is just another chance for you to practice, and it's all about going slow, right? Now, what I like about that outline is I know that there are no doors all the way around. So this tells me exactly where I need to color. All right? So I am now able to color all that in. I like to color in the same direction, so I'm not going this way and up and down and this way and that way and all over. I like to go just kind of back and forth, and the reason being is 1, it looks nice. 2, I have control. I'm watching where I'm going. I know that I need to slow down when I get to that edge, and then I can speed up when I'm in the middle away from those edges. So once I get to an edge, again, I slow down, smaller back and forth. What I mean by that is if I have a big space, I can go a little faster. But if I have a small space or I'm getting closer to an edge, I go slower and smaller marks. Bigger area, I can go faster and make longer lines. Smaller area, I'm going back and forth with smaller lines. All right, so now I colored in that whole section, and I want to look for white spots. On the camera, it makes some of these areas look really white. It's pretty well colored in, but I'll go back where the camera makes it look whiter. All right, so that looks pretty good. Now, I have to know what is a leaf and what section is not a leaf. That would be important. And we don't want to make it look like I wasn't watching what I was doing and color this section red. Because it touches this section that's red, we want to get rid of the red and grab a different color. Okay, so for this, I'm going to do yellow, and I'm going to go around and see if there's any doors. Now, these little spots here, these are also part of the leaf, but I'm not going to worry about that yet because I'm in this bigger section. All right, so I'm going along the edge, and I'm going back and forth as if I'm coloring, trying to make like a little bumper, like if we were doing bumper bowling. Is that what it's called? Yeah, I guess so. So now I have this outline. Now, just like I did with the other one, I would color that in. Now I'm going a little bit faster because I can. I want you to take your time a little bit more. And now I have that. Can I use yellow here? The answer would be no, because that touches this section. Could I use red? Yes, because it doesn't touch this section, but we haven't used orange yet. So, or not orange, blue. So I'm going to go and use blue for this section. And I'm also going to color this little section that touches the red with the blue. And then I have a little itty bitty section. You can kind of see it right here. And I'm going to use red because it doesn't touch the red. It just touches the yellow. And I can use the red here for that little itty bitty section. So now over here, we have our first black line that comes in, but it doesn't go all the way to that other line, so I have a doorway. So I'm going to outline it to show you what I mean. Okay, so there's still that opening. So I'm going to go all the way over into this area with the same color. Okay, and that is our first leaf, right? Done with primary colors. So now I'm going to do the other two, and then we'll go on to step 5. Okay, so I have finished all three of the leaves. Right at the end, I was rushing, and you'll notice I didn't color it in, but I started outlining. And you always have to watch what you're doing as far as are you inside of a leaf or not, because some of these start to play tricks on you. So I have this circle here, and these two sections were inside of the leaf, so that's why they got primary colors. And then I started coloring this part of the circle, but it was actually on the outside of the leaf. So I stopped. Let's say you guys color it in. Just if you make a mistake, we all make mistakes, all right? Just try to remind yourself to not make another one, and it won't be too obvious. Now, if I go over here and I start coloring this whole section blue, that's going to be a pretty obvious one, okay? So I just outlined. That'll be a simple thing that you probably won't see when the whole thing's colored in. But if you make a mistake, I realize it happens. As you can see, Mr. Lawniczak makes mistakes too. And I just stopped, and let's say you color the whole thing in, that's fine. But I stopped, and I'll do that in the next step. So this is coloring in the leaves. Once you have that completed with the primary colors, make sure that you double check that you got all the sections, but then put away your primary colors and click on the next video for the next step, which is secondary colors.